WWL-TV, the spirit of Louisiana. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News Night Watch.
Another day leaves another victim in Isaac's wake. Today, it was Franklinton. Residents are rescued from their flooded homes with only the clothes on their back and confused children in their arms. In Laplace, the Coast Guard rescues a stranded trucker from Texas. He survives despite his emphysema and the flood that nearly took his breath away. In Slidell, people return to their homes for the first time, not sure what they'll find, but hopeful.
I got my bird food for my birds, and I hope they're alive.
And in Plaquemines Parish, evacuees board buses headed for Shreveport. It'll be a long time before they come back, but there's no question they will.
Don't look at 2 days, look at 2 weeks.
And all over, residents are growing weary in the heat. They've been told to have patience, but what they want tonight is power.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Woltering.
And I'm Karen Swenson. Tonight, there are more than 411,000 people without power in Louisiana, including more than 118,000 in Orleans Parish and 134,000 in Jefferson Parish.
Some people have been without power for 5 days now, and they're running out of patience. Tanya Dahl joins us from Gretna, and Tanya, John Young had some harsh words for Entergy tonight, didn't he?
John Young did have some harsh words, the president of Jefferson Parish, late tonight. You know, we've seen down trees like this all around the area. They're wreaking havoc on power lines. But tonight, President Young said that Entergy isn't doing enough to make sure that people's power comes back on. What Ronald Perkins couldn't put on the grill tonight or give to his neighbors is now in the belly of Pinky, the Treme homeowner's pig.
Pinky, come here, baby. That's what I'm barbecuing now, the food that was still cold, that was from the freezer.
Like hundreds of thousands of others, Perkins is living without electricity these days. Power knocked out in this neighborhood the day Isaac rolled in.
I feel blessed that we're still alive, but at the same token, you know, we don't have no power. And I know that, you know, there's a lot of different places that don't have lights and stuff.
The consistent message is, where is Entergy?
Late tonight, Jefferson Parish officials held a press conference criticizing current efforts to restore power. Parish President John Young even calling for an investigation and hefty fines against Entergy.
We were assured that they would be prepared. Unfortunately, their assurances have not come to fruition.
Entergy says crews from 24 states working 16-hour shifts are working around the clock to restore people's power. The company says it hoped to see a 30% improvement by the end of today compared to yesterday. Aware that customers are frustrated.
We have gotten a lot of talk, but we have gotten little action.
See, we had part of our tree fell.
Despite tonight's scathing criticism of Entergy, Perkins, now on his 4th day without power, knows it could be much worse.
We can't complain much because after Hurricane Katrina, we had nothing. No shelter, no food, nothing. So this is not bad. People act like they can't tolerate it, but they can tolerate it.
114,000. And Entergy's CEO was just on WWL radio with updated numbers. He says that 414,000 people across the state are still without power. 41% of customers have had power restored since Hurricane Isaac. And again, law enforcement officials are saying because a lot of areas are without power, they're asking people to drive slowly, to drive carefully, to stop at all intersections, and and to look for those downed trees and power lines. Reporting live in Gretna, Tanya Dahl, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
All right, Tanya, thank you.
And we did get in touch with Entergy tonight in order to get their response to the allegations from Jefferson Parish President John Young.
And here's what Bill Mole, the CEO of Entergy Louisiana, had to say tonight. Quote, "We understand the frustration of our customers and elected officials. We realize that many have been without power for a number of days. We have dedicated an enormous amount of resources to this restoration effort and have more resources arriving every day. As president and CEO of Entergy Louisiana, I take the responsibility to restore electricity to our customers very seriously.
Bull goes on to say, I commit to all of our customers that we will continue to do everything possible to speed up this restoration effort while maintaining the safety of our employees who are doing dangerous work under difficult circumstances. We hope our customers understand that safety trumps speed. Public Service Commissioner Eric Skrmetta tonight says the Public Service Commission will examine John Young's allegations, and Skrmetta says he does have concerns about Entergy's use of its resources. The North Shore is still battling dangerous floodwaters.
Rising water forced hundreds of people to leave their homes in a community just outside of Franklinton today. Monica Hernandez joins us now live with more on the search and rescue efforts underway. Good evening, Monica.
Karen, where I'm standing now is normally dry ground, but here on Highway 10, just near the town of Franklinton, it looks like a river, and those who live in this area are devastated. People being rescued by boat, carrying what they can as the swollen Bogachito River swallows their homes. Tina Corkin says this business, surrounded by rising water, is all she has left. Her home was destroyed in a tornado last year.
Heartbreak, hurt, you know, because that's what's left. I mean, that's all. It's just gone. And it's not just me, it's all these people, you know. It's just sad.
All these people, nearly 130 homes, flooded in this valley near Franklinton. Many of them were stranded for hours, sitting on the side of the road with nowhere else to go.
Last night we slept in a truck. Well, tonight we're spreading out.
Sharon Wilson saw this television and the rest of her appliances swept away in the flood.
Happened to look, was my TV. And then next thing I know, I said, there comes a wash machine. And I said, that can't be just a washing machine. You already seen the TV. I just can't believe this is happening.
This volunteer firefighter rescued a man clinging to a fence early this morning. His own home was destroyed.
It's a tragedy, and a lot of people lost every single thing that they have. And they grossly understated what was going to happen here. We were told that it was going to crest last night at 1 o'clock, yet the water is still rising. I have a hard time believing that there's no one here, no FEMA, no National Guard, nobody.
Well, actually, we had probably the most advanced notice that we've ever had here on the Bogachito River.
Meanwhile, these cars are flooded by the fast-moving waters. We spotted part of a porch floating away, and neighbors say the woman who owns this home is battling cancer and just rebuilt after a fire ravaged her house. Another reason for this close-knit community to band together in a time of tragedy.
Just pray for all of us up here, because we all need it.
And we certainly will continue to pray for all of those who are losing their homes to floodwaters tonight. Now, we do want to let you know, according to Washington Parish officials, they say they knocked on every door in this neighborhood you see behind me Wednesday morning to alert them of the potential threat, but they apparently didn't realize just how high this water would get. The National Weather Service expected it would crest at 22 feet tonight, but it's already surpassed that. As for shelters, one has opened up the road at Hillcrest Baptist Church in Franklinton. Reporting live near the town of Franklinton, I'm Monica Hernandez, Channel 4 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Absolutely heartbreaking. All right, thank you, Monica.
Thousands of people showed up for free water, ice, and ready-to-eat meals today at 7 distribution sites in Jefferson Parish. National Guard troops from HOMA were loading 175 cars an hour for people who were still without power and running out of food and water. The lines were so long at this Metairie location that they blocked the main streets, slowing Entergy trucks from getting to repair lines. Parish President John Young decided to move both the Metairie and Kenner distribution sites to Zephyr Field. 6 sites will be open again tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Where is our flood protection? That was the message hanging on a flooded home as Governor Bobby Jindal and Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney toured hurricane-damaged Lower Jefferson Parish today. Paul Murphy reports on conditions in both Lafitte and Grand Isle.
Bayou Barataria is overflowing its banks. The water pushed in by Hurricane Isaac is spilling over into homes in Lafitte, Barataria, and Crown Point. This is the third major flood event here since Hurricane Katrina.
I've lost both vehicles. I've lost everything inside my shed. You know, my family's lost a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of damage, but we'll come back. You know, we're strong down here. We're used to this.
Y'all are part of that?
Governor Bobby Jindal and Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney toured the flooding today. Romney said he was there to learn and to help shed some national attention on the devastation. Governor Romney and Governor Jindal got out here at the Jean Lafitte Town Hall to talk with local elected officials. Officials no doubt giving them an earful about the lack of federal levee protection in Lower Jefferson Parish. One Lafitte neighbor hung a sign asking the high-profile visitors, "Where is our levee protection?" A question resonating up and down the bayou.
We live outside the levee protection, and that's why we get all this water, because they close the floodgates up front, and all they doing is flooding us out down here.
Louisiana Senate President John Alario of Westwego says he will make sure Lower Jefferson gets its fair share of money from the BP oil spill settlement and new offshore oil and gas revenue.
It is one of our top priorities. As soon as we can get the monies in, that's the problem. The money's got to come in the bank.
Governor Jindal then met with leaders on Grand Isle, where the north end of the island is still flooded.
If there's one grain of sand left in Grand Isle, we're going to still be here. I promise you that.
Paul Murphy, Channel 4, Eyewitness News.
And President Obama will also visit Louisiana on Monday to personally examine the damage from Hurricane Isaac.
People of all ages are still dealing with power outages and warm conditions following Isaac.
Next at 10, why residents at one special needs home say the conditions have become unbearable.
Plus, critical drainage pumps in Algiers lose power during Hurricane Isaac. Tonight, 4 investigates.
And we'll pinpoint some rain still out there tonight.
For weather coverage, download the free New Orleans weather app on your smartphone.
Of course, Isaac's effects continue to linger even though the storm has passed.
And now, days later, residents of the Oak Villa apartments in Algiers are going through another kind of nightmare in heat and in darkness. Brian Salmon has the story.
We are crying desperately for help, and soon, because I don't think somebody's not going to make it.
Oak Villa's residents are older men and women, many with special needs. They're also occupants who have nowhere else to go and no choice but to persevere in the extreme heat and darkness.
We are not asking for no pity, we're not asking for no handout, we're asking for help just to keep on living like human beings, especially the older generation who done paid their dues.
Entergy's personnel, who was sent to survey the site, is empathetic to the conditions and has assured residents help is coming.
It is a challenge for them. Some of the residents here are residents with special needs, so we're going to work even harder to make sure that we get the unit on Oak Villas on for these customers. But rest assured, because they don't see any trucks, it does not mean that we're not in the area.
Not only here at the Oak Villa apartments is this door that's supposed to be securely locked, not locked, but they've been without power and in the darkness since Tuesday.
At night is horrible because you got people with windows open, and you know, it's pretty dangerous. We don't have security, so everyone is pretty much on their own.
That's because management distributed these letters to residents, then evacuated, and residents haven't been able to reach anyone since.
They got a couple of people up there 90 years old. They got people up there that got breathing problems and all this kind of stuff here. Most of them are gone now. They left for the storm, gone by their daughter's house or somewhere. But the rest of us that's left here, we just left here in the dark.
In Algiers, Brian Salmon, Channel 4, Eyewitness News.
Oak Villa's management was unavailable for comment.
FEMA is offering disaster assistance for people affected by the storm. Residents in Jefferson, Plaquemines, St. Bernard, St. John the Baptist, and St. Tammany parishes are eligible. To apply, you need to call 1-800-621-FEMA or go to their website, fema.gov. In a 4 Investigates report, David Hammer found out that critical drainage pumps in Algiers lost power during Isaac.
And a new backup system that should have kept General de Gaulle, General MacArthur, and Holiday Drive open did not work as planned.
$90 million in public money has been spent to widen the General de Gaulle Canal, improve Algiers drainage, and fortify Pump Station 13. The new system got its first test with Hurricane Isaac, and for a few key hours, it failed spectacularly. Just after midnight Wednesday morning, General de Gaulle, a primary evacuation route, was impassable. 5 of 7 pumps were down for at least 2 hours because brand new backup generators would not start.
So these were installed when?
This whole process has been about a 1.5 year process of putting these in. So it's brand new, 2 weeks ago, they were tested, they were operational, and this is what failed last night.
The generators are so new, the Corps has not fully approved them yet. Corps spokesman Ricky Boyett said mechanics arrived at 2:30 in the morning and fixed them. By Wednesday afternoon, General de Gaulle was dry again. Boyett said the contractor is responsible for the generators, but Sewerage and Water Board staff was left alone to run them. Boyett said the Corps did not require the contractor to have anyone on site.
We have a much better team today than we did 7 years ago, but it's game day. The star of the season was this hurricane, and game day, and we're sitting Drew Brees. That just doesn't work.
Sewer and Water Board spokesman Robert Jackson said the diesel pumps at the station kept up with the drainage flow fine. But Heitmeyer said those can only handle 25% of the flow.
I don't know if the pumping station was working or not, but majority of the water was going like that. You could get on the surfboard and surf like that. That's how high the water was, looking at it out my back window.
In Algiers, David Hammer, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
The Corps is seeking funding to widen the General de Gaulle Canal. Senator David Heitmeyer plans to meet with Sewer and Water Chief Marcia St. Martin and Corps District Commander Edward Fleming next week.
Time to take a look at the weather now, and if you saw Monica Hernandez's report out of Franklinton, it's just heartbreaking to see what those river levels are doing to those people.
That's right, and in some places they still have to crest during the course of the weekend, so we're still watching those rivers, and we'll have those on our website too at WWL-TV.com, so you can keep track over the weekend, and Derek Kerber will update you over the course of Saturday and Sunday also. Take a look at the river levels now. At Kentwood, the Tangipahoa is slowly falling. At last report, it was at 16.7 feet. Cresting tonight at Amite, and tomorrow evening at Robert. You can see the crest levels at 23.5 feet or close to that. The Bogafalaya at Camp Covington is falling, and also at Boston Street is falling. Those are the last current stage reports that we have. And then you look at the Chafuncta River at Folsom and Covington. Folsom, it's cresting, and Covington cresting this evening, or should be cresting right now. You can see those levels at last report. Now, as we head towards the Pearl River, these are just updated now. Bogalusa cresting Saturday afternoon at 21 feet, cresting at Pearl River Tuesday morning at 18.5 feet. And as we head towards the Bogachita, where Monica was, should be cresting tonight at Franklinton at about 22 feet and cresting at Bush Sunday afternoon at about 18 feet. So yeah, we'll have those updates coming up over the course of the weekend. Flash flood watch for Tangipahoa Parish. That's because of the threat of the dam failing up at Percy Quinn Park. This goes through Sunday afternoon. Assumption Parish, or I should say Ascension Parish, you have a flash flood watch until Saturday afternoon. There goes the remnants of Isaac up towards Missouri into Iowa and Illinois. We still have that moisture feed trailing ahead of it, and we're going to continue to have that moisture feed trailing ahead of that for the course of the weekend. Now, as you look a little bit closer, you have a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms out there, and they're moving generally towards the north, towards the city, towards the West Bank. As we show you the motion again, they're moving generally towards the north-northeast, and we'll take a little closer look. You can see over towards near Vacherie, we see some rain around Garyville, and heading on southward, as you can see Lutcher just to the east of there, and towards the West Bank, we're seeing some starting to approach the West Bank as well. And you can see Marrero, a shower moving in your direction. Also Wagaman, another big one. These are moving generally towards the north-northeast. Now, before we show this, let's go to WeatherLink 4. I want to show you the rainfall amounts we had today across the region. We had about almost an inch around Hammond, Vacherie, Thibodaux, and Picayune, all less than 1 inch of rainfall. Outside, Armstrong International, it's pretty warm still out there. Temperatures in the low 80s at the airport here in the French Quarter and Slidell. The dew point, high at 76 with a south wind at 9. So the chance of rain the rest of tonight into the morning hours, 10% through midnight, and then 3 o'clock, 10% in the morning, and 6 o'clock, 10%, even through 9 o'clock. So not a big chance of rain, I think, for tomorrow. Then by the afternoon hours, 20% chance for isolated thunderstorms around the region. I want to show you the water vapor image. You look at this big trough along the eastern United States. That's going to keep that's going to keep Leslie and Kirk, we're done with Isaac, Leslie and Kirk out in the Atlantic Ocean away from us. This is Hurricane Kirk, and that's moving out into the Atlantic Ocean, and this is Tropical Storm Leslie out here in the Atlantic moving towards the Caribbean Sea. Leslie has winds of 65 miles per hour. It should stay out in the Atlantic Ocean. And also Kirk, winds of 80 miles per hour presently. Your forecast for tonight and tomorrow morning, upper 70s, 10% chance for rain, 20% for tomorrow afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday 30%, and for the Labor Day holiday itself, 40%. So tomorrow may be a day most of us have a chance to dry out a little bit. There'll still be some rain around, but rain chance at 20%.
All right, thanks.
We need to dry out. The effects of Hurricane Isaac continue to be felt all around southeast Louisiana.
And next at 10 o'clock, we take to the sky to get a bird's eye view of the damage from the storm.
Well, just as the devastation of Katrina was far greater than any image could capture, Isaac's impact is far worse than video can show.
But aerials from our helicopter today give you a sense of the magnitude of Hurricane Isaac's impact. This is how it looked from the air today in Braithwaite on the eastern side of Plaquemines Parish. This area is outside of federal hurricane levee protection, and storm surge pushed in this floodwater so fast people had to scramble to get out safely. Here on the east bank of Plaquemines, deputies found a couple who failed to escape dead inside the kitchen of their home. Officials are now working to dewater this area, in part with breaches in the back levees. From the air, you can see the flooding that swamped Lakefront Airport, which is also outside levee protection. Flooding swamped hangars and offices just years after millions of dollars were spent on repairs and renovations following Katrina. And the water was not receding as fast as it could, in part because a valve to drain airport property was not fully opened. Floodwater has made one section of I-10 near Laplace impassable, where there's a dip in the highway. And in Laplace, widespread flooding. More than 9 subdivisions evacuated. Several thousand people who fled their homes here were bused to Alexandria. And the floodwater that sent them from their homes still fills many streets in residential neighborhoods and in business strips. All of this the result of storm surge from Lakes Maurepas and Pontchartrain. In a couple places alongside I-10, the floodwater made railroad tracks impassable for trains. And in Slidell, Hurricane Isaac sent storm surge from Bayou Bonfouca into neighborhoods like Palm Lake, where about 24 people were rescued. Across the area, Isaac brought danger and devastation to thousands of people who thought they could shelter in place.
The scope.
Yeah, just amazing how many people were affected by this, and so many people thought they'd be safe in their homes.
All right, we're going to have more Hurricane Isaac coverage after this.
And finally, we have a few sports notes to pass along. LSU still plans to host its football opener against North Texas tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
And Tulane's opener versus Rutgers still set to kick off at 7 p.m. tomorrow night at the Superdome. Boy, couldn't we use a nice distraction?
We need some distractions, some fun
football.
At this point. That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night, and I'll start the cleanup this weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.